Hey there, everybody. Welcome back with the Purplatypus is the name in Dragon Quest Monsters, the Dark Joker Prince 3 is the game. And today, I'm going to be giving you my thoughts after 100%. Now, caveat to that, asterisks, whatever, if you will. It's not really 100%. I'm sorry. If you look at my Monsterpedia, I'm at 97.3, but 97.3% doesn't sound as sexy. The reason it's not 100% is it looks like I'm missing all these monsters, but I'm really missing 2 egg monsters. And I really just don't want to put off the video for 2 egg monsters. I've done everything else. All I got to do is run around, look at these eggs, and then pick up the monsters. So we're just going to talk about the game. Now, I'm going to call this a thoughts video, not a review per se. You could consider it a review, but really it's more of a the reason I'm calling it a thoughts video is because I'm not going to edit it, right? This is just going to be one string of me talking about the good, the bad, the ugly. And I think that calling it a review would be a little disingenuous, or it would apply a level of effort and quality that I'm not necessarily putting in. So thoughts after 100% I think is fair. So what do I think about the game? So there's good, there's bad. First of all, look at that team. Man, that's how you know you've made it in this game right there. This guy's only level 90, only 12, 13. This guy needs to get, he doesn't even have Wisdom Booster 4. That's the issue here. It's all right. We'll have to get that eventually. Probably not. So the game has a lot going for it. And I want to start, before I even talk about the good, before I talk about the bad, I have a huge bias. There's a couple biases here that you should consider. One, probably not the biggest bias, but the one that I think is the most important to get out there is that I've made money playing this game. I've made almost $400 from YouTube videos on this game, right? Something like that. It'll be more by the time, probably closer to $500 by the time this is all done, right? And now, to be fair, I don't really care about that. I make videos because I like making videos. Of course, everyone says that, but I have been doing it for 8 years, and trust me, many of those years, there was $0 involved. Now there's a couple bucks because I finally have some people watching me. So keep that in mind. I make money. I'm not being paid to say anything other than YouTube views. If anything, saying negative things would probably generate more money. But 2, I made a video called I Like Bad Games, right? And here's the thing. This game is essentially a perfect video game. Perfect video game for me. Now, the things I like in games, that there's certain things that this doesn't have that I like in games, but like as far as like this is like unhealthy breakfast cereal. It's like I love it. It's not like it's not steak, you know, where I love steak too, but this is unhealthy breakfast cereal. It just takes me back to being a kid. I am very biased where I love this game. I love seeing the monsters. I love seeing the name of abilities that I've seen before. I love catching monsters. I love synthesizing them into new monsters, seeing what's that? Ooh, that's cool. Look at this new ability. Always something new to see. I love turn-based combat games. I love pretty much everything that this game is like perfectly made for me. And the things that the game sucks at that I think other people should be aware of and that they are right to not like the game for, it just doesn't bother me that much. For example, this game runs kind of like dog shit. Like, this is okay. Like, I never have like insane frame drops, but like it runs at like 30 frames or less. And on top of like it running like shit, it kind of looks bad. Like, I'm not saying it looks disgusting, but it just, everything is kind of like, you know, the draw distance is pretty short. Like, you can see that guy up on that hill right there, right? Like, that draw distance is like nothing. And even then, everything's blown out and blurry, and it's just kind of fuzzy, right? The resolution is super bad. Like, nothing's crisp. It looks bad. It looks bad. It freaking doesn't run good. I've had this game crash maybe 15 times on me. 15 times, at least, I've just had a hard crash. Now, the autosave system means I've never lost any progress. But I'm just trying to say that besides those things, despite it, I still freaking love this game. Why do I love this game? It's got, ooh, Starry Studs. Cool. That was my nickname in high school. It's got pretty much everything I love. Like, you know, it's the same reason that I love Pokemon, even though Pokemon refuses to get any better, you know? I get to walk around, fight monsters with my monsters, level them up, But unlike Pokemon, I get to synthesize them into new monsters, so you don't really get an emotional connection to your monsters, but it's kind of like, ooh, new shiny thing constantly. Now, let's get into a battle and kind of show you, even though, yes, the graphics look bad and stuff, it still has, like, actually really lively, well-animated characters, right? Like, these characters just have a lot of personality. And, like, when you're looking at, like, the gem slime, it's not like he just has a normal thing, right? You could tell that there's, like, a dot, you know, he's got an angled bottom, and so he rests from one side to the other, you know. And so all these characters have these really cool animations that are just like, when they get hit, they've got a lot of expression, so they put a lot of effort into some things. But to be fair, these are probably reused from like years of different not Monster Hunter games, Dragon Quest games. But there's a lot of charm there. The monsters have a lot of charm. There's a lot of quality of life features that I really like. You know, you can now search for synthesis. You don't need to just go through a monster and look at everything it could synthesize into. You can actually pull up a list and see every monster you have. How could they all synthesize together to make X, Y, or Z? And you could even expand that to be like, not including monsters I have. Like, so out of the monsters I have, what is anything else that I've ever seen that they could synthesize with, and what will that get you? So you can find all kinds of really powerful, you know, things like that. There's an auto battle system that works really good. This team's shit at fighting. This team is for scouting. That's it. It's actually easier to scout things than it is to fight things, as you can tell. The auto combat system is good. You have the ability, not quite a gambit system like FF12, but you can set instructions on your AI, right? No skills available. That's funny. You know, you can be like, all right, I want you to use that. Never use this skill ever. And so this will affect their AI. And then you can also set up a general AI with more instructions inside that. So you get pretty good control over this kind of thing. You know, the ×2 battle speed is really nice. You automatically heal your whole squad whenever you go back to the tower. Honestly, there's a lot of content in the game. I got them already. There's like, I would say I'm at like 77 hours. I think 50 of it was story. And now it's been just a lot of grinding to complete the Monsterpedia, honestly. And honestly, the combat system is really good. It's got wonderful sound effects, which is not connected to the combat system, but it all works really well. There's a really good, strong base here. Lots of interesting, strong, fun monsters with cool, interesting abilities. Now, that being said, the game is a little easy. I would say it's way too easy, but that might be that. I put that on my little list that I'm referring to as subjective, which everything I'm saying is, of course, subjective, but that is especially so. I say a lot of RPGs are easy, like Octopath Traveler 2 or whatever, XYZ, and then a lot of people come to my videos for guides because they're like having trouble with stuff, right? It's like, I'm absolutely stuck on this insane boss, and it's always a boss that I kill in one attempt, and it's not because I'm really, really good at RPGs. It's because I'm in my 30s, and I've played RPGs my whole life, so I just know how these mechanics work, and I know how to beat these mechanics, and I know how to get overpowered easily for the most part in games like this. So it's like I've played Dragon Quest monsters like since I was a kid on the Game Boy, right? Like it was like Terry's Adventures or Torin's Adventures, something like that. You know, so I've played these games and I have familiarity with them. So this game is incredibly easy for veterans, I would say. Maybe if you're a newcomer, you'll find some difficulty. But I mean, I think I got the tutorial for what happens when you lose a fight only on the final post-game super boss. I never lost a fight in the entire game, like literally once. The tutorial popped up when I finally lost on the super boss at the end of the game. And so, like, that's just, like, I found the game to be way too easy. I wish they had difficulty options or something. Continue on the negatives, there is a dog shit amount of fucking loading screens. I mean, just every time you do anything is a loading screen. You know, there's a loading screen here, and they're not quick. They're not, I mean, let's be honest, they're not, like, long. But, I mean, come on, every time you fast travel somewhere, then when you come down here, you know, there's, like, a little screen. Things just take too long. Like, every time you do anything, there's a loading screen or a wait time. And if I want to synthesize something, let's just synthesize two things I don't care about, just to show a point. Let's do a, I don't know, let's do a slime and a blizzard boy. Let's take a bomb boulder. So I want to synthesize these together, yeah. And so you synthesize, and then you have to watch this unskippable, animation, then you see it. Okay, I want to do it. Here's what I'm going to name it. All right, then I gotta go to a screen. I have to decide if I want my party. Then I say I want to continue synthesizing, and then I want to come wait, loading, saving, wait. Now I get synthesized again. Now that doesn't seem that bad, but I'm telling you, there's times where I've wanted to synthesize like 15 things at a time, and I feel like I'm spending 15 minutes just waiting at that dark screen or waiting for these things to finish. Like it could be very annoying and feel like it's wasting my time in a sense where I'm wasting my time playing a video game anyway, but even more so, I'm not having fun wasting that time, you know, which is kind of the whole point. And so like that kind of bugs me. Like honestly, out of my 77 hours, I wouldn't be surprised if like 2.5 hours of that is just waiting for synthesis animations. And that feels like a lot. Like obviously it's spread out, but I mean, it takes a lot. I would say the items are negative. Like the items are not interesting or usually very important or good. Like I think I've gone to an item store and bought an item like one time, right? There's no gear you could buy, or really for the most part. There's an online shop, which I think you need a Nintendo. We can get into that right now, where you need to buy the Nintendo fucking online thing to get into the online shop, which is the best shop in the game. So a little pay to win there in an aspect. And then the DLC is also pay to win, which I find very frustrating. Here's the thing. People will be like, hey, I don't mind paying for the DLC because it's a really good deal for what you get. Yes, but it's all relative. They made the problem. They made it so the DLC would be good, right? They made the problem and then they sold you the solution, right? So like they gave you the disease, they sold you the cure, whatever you want to say, right? So it sucks that it's in the game. If you don't, I'm talking about the Mole DLC. Basically, you can go scout any monster you've ever scouted before another time without having to synthesize it. It saves so much time. Like getting the Monsterpedia to 100% without that, I feel like would be such a pain in the dick. And it's $10. It gives you an advantage to completing the game 100%. It gives you a clear advantage on a PvP setting, because if the meta develops and changes, you can easily adapt by recapturing different monsters, unless you have every monster in the game already saved, you know. But even then, if you want to change their skills or whatever, you know, you just have access to everything that's ever existed that you've ever caught. So that's really good. To continue on the negatives, all right, the zones are uninteresting to explore. Like straight up, the zones have a little bit of a cool design. They're kind of interesting to look at, but there's nothing really going on in them. Like there's monsters around, there's some chests around, but the goal is in every zone is the same, right? You're at the tower. Your goal is to go to the dungeon and defeat the boss. And then the rest of this is just kind of here. Like I'm walking here to see if I can find any monsters that I haven't gotten, but also I've gotten all these monsters in the first 5 minutes, and then the next few hours of the zone are for me at least, just trying to fucking get eggs. There's not a real sense of exploration and reward going on here. Not in any real sense anyway. And although they're kind of cool to look at, I tend to like, my goal is to get through the zone as fast as possible, where I'm like, I wish I had a mount. I don't want to be in the zone. I want to be through the zone, you know? The dungeons are lacking any kind of puzzles. I mean, there's like a little bit, but they're relatively simple. I know there was this one here actually is the one people looked up guides for, and I could understand that. It wasn't that it was a hard puzzle. It just required a lot of backtracking, and if you weren't thinking the game would make you do that much backtracking, it would be probably hard to see the solution, because you might, as a gamer, think there's no way they want me to do that, right? I mean, they want me to go all the way back and do through this whole thing again? And the answer is yes, they did. But that's why it wasn't that, like, very hard. More on the negatives. Egg-only monsters exist. What are we doing here? We're looking for eggs. Why are we looking for eggs? You want to know why we're looking for eggs? Because there's egg monsters in the game. They put egg monsters in the game. That's why we're looking for eggs, man. I don't want to look for eggs. I have, like, out of the eggs, right? I need one in the golden egg, one in the silver egg. So I have like a 1 in 5 chance, or like a 1 in 3 chance that I find an egg and it's the right color. And then in that, there's a 25% chance that it's an egg exclusive monster. And then within that, there's like a 1 in 6 chance that it's the specific one that I need, right? Every egg monster you get that you haven't had it doesn't make the next one harder, but it's like the chances that the next egg have it is just going to feels lower and lower, because it is like, now it's like a 1 in 50 egg chance to get the stupid thing I want. It's just an unfun mechanic, all there is to it. It's not like it's aggressively pay to win or predatory, anything like that. It's just like an annoying mechanic. More on the negatives. It has an incredible lack of post-game. Incredible lack of post-game. The post-game consisted of 4 boss fights. And again, I one-shot every single one of them, except for the very final one, which I'll admit might have been pretty hard, but I got it on the second try. I don't even fully know if it was actually really hard. I mean, I didn't have any problem with it. But I just went, I leveled my monsters. I changed up like a couple abilities to deal more damage. Because I don't even think I was fully healed the first time I went in. I think I just kind of went in right after the 3rd boss fight because there was no pause. And that was that. You know, it was not, I don't want it to be wintertime. It's too hard to see eggs in the wintertime. So the post game was not significant, not impressive. The main draw of this game after you beat it is the PvP. Now the PvP I can't speak too much about. I know that it's probably got a lot of fans of it, and I could be a fan of it. I don't know. I haven't really jumped into it yet. Maybe I will if I really want to keep playing this game. But as of now, these games for me have always been single player games. And I don't know if I'm really that interested in getting, like, I like min-maxing units, but I don't really like min-maxing team comps for PvP. I don't know. It's just like the game hasn't been good enough for me to, and it doesn't have a big enough audience for me to really feel like that's a wise investment of my time, you know? Whether or not any video game is a wise investment of time, I suppose, is up for debate. Let's see what else is on my negatives. The loading screens, the zones are uninteresting. Bland exploration, low quality graphics, it's all blown out and blurry, runs terrible, crashes all the time, egg-only monsters. The DLC exists. That's pretty much all the negative things I could think of right off the bat. I mean, the DLC is fucking, it's scummy, man. And all this said, all right, I fucking love this game. I love this game. It's one of my, like, this game could be my GOATY. It probably won't with things like, Elysian Chronicles coming out, but this is just like everything. This is why this is cereal that's bad for you. You know, maybe Asmongold would say this is shit, but I'm convinced it's chocolate. You know, like I see all the faults, but it's like I just don't care. Those aren't the faults that bother me. Like, they'll bug me a little bit, but I'm just in love with the game in general. Do we need it? No, it's some fucking plates, of course. Who needs some fucking plates, please? Okay, I can say a positive. The game has a lot of good puns, a lot of great monster designs, a lot of great puns. Now, a lot of that is the Dragon Quest. There's a lot of the good of this game comes from the Dragon Quest name and the decades and decades of Dragon Quest, you know, being built up. It's not anything that this game is doing particularly, you know, special. I don't know if there's that much in this game that they added that's new that I'm like, this is such a great addition to Dragon Quest. The music has always been there. Most of these monster designs, if not literally all of them, have always existed. The combat system has been pretty much already existed. There's again, the quality of life stuff. The story, I'm sure, is really cool. I know I'm not mentioning the story. To be honest, I just didn't play the Dragon Quest where these were the main characters, and it wasn't really... I just kind of skipped the story. When I say kinda, I mean I skipped the story. I didn't care. I play these games for mechanics. Same reason, like, do I care about the story in Pokemon? No. Pokemon's a dog shit game, and I fucking love them. I love every single one. It's kind of the same thing here. These games I have a sweet spot for. And, I mean, I don't know what else I got to say about it. I mean, how far am I into the game? What have I done? I'm 72 hours. I've done all the combats in the game. The only thing I'm doing now is the Monsterpedia. I mean, you could say, like, oh, you don't have all of the, excuse me, Platt. You don't have Crack Virtuoso. You haven't 100% the game. I don't care. It's all right. I've never got MP Booster 4 or Defense Booster 4. All right, you're right. I haven't done everything. And these are mostly going to be the, I think these ones are going to be from the final fusions. I could be wrong, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, I love this game. I actually recommend this game to anyone who just loves Dragon Quest or Monster Collection games, but there is no doubt that this game has a lot it could have improved on. It feels kind of like a lazy effort. Now, I don't like to say that necessarily, as I'm sure the developers themselves worked really, really, really hard on it, and that they put a lot of love and passion into the game. Although I am in the dumbass candy world, I'll admit. Maybe we go to a different world that looks a little bit cooler. Instead of the one that's literally a bunch of cakes. But, I mean, I'm sure the developers and, like, the head honchos behind this game put in a lot of effort. And so it's not lazy in that way. I mean, it's, like, lazy from the company perspective. Like, the Square Enix, whoever holds the Dragon Quest IP, and decided that it would be a Switch exclusive, apparently, and decided that it would Like, this game needed a budget, you know? This game could have been, like, I feel like this game, but again, they don't, even Pokemon doesn't get money, right? It's like, they just, even in these games sell incredibly well, they still don't get money. So maybe it doesn't matter how popular this game could have been, because it would have never gotten any more money anyway. But I feel like it was a, like a 6 out of 10 game. Maybe like a 7 out of 10 game, given, even with all the issues, at least personally. But to me, it could have easily have been a 10 out of 10. And yeah, that's kind of it. I'm just saying now, and now I'm just gonna restate all the positive and negatives I've already stated. Is there anything positive I wanted to say that I haven't already said yet? No, I mean, I think it's good, relatively good value. You know, I spent whatever, 60, 70 bucks on this. I got 60, 70 hours of pure enjoyment. There's still a whole bunch of more enjoyment to be had if I decide that PvP is something that I want. I had a really great adventure. I like collecting the monsters, and overall, I love this game. Love this game, and I would buy this game. I would buy this game again easily, no doubt, because that's just the kind of video game player I am. I know what I like in a game, and this game delivers on those things. And unfortunately, they don't have to go above and beyond in almost anything. They just put a bunch of monsters in a game and let you run around and let you combine them. I'm like, oh, I'll buy that game. 70 bucks for a subpar experience that crashes, that kind of looks bad, then that's purely playing off my nostalgia. I'm in, baby. Woo! Anyway, that's it for today. Much love. Purplatypus is Purplatypus. I'll see you on the flip-flops. Let me know what you thought about the game. What positives do you agree with and disagree with, and what negatives do you agree with and disagree with? I'm kind of interested to hear what other people think about the game. This game isn't meant to be, or sorry, this video isn't meant to be like a bittersweet thing. Like, I love the game, it's true, but it's like I could love something and still see that it should have done better in a lot of ways. That I think the DLC molehole is scummy, and that I wish this game could have been even better than it already is. And I can see why a lot of people wouldn't like this game at all. Like, they're like, oh, this game is dog shit, and I'm not gonna support this kind of stuff either, because I think that there is a lot of stuff that shows a lack of caring about, you know, the game itself, the Dragon Quest franchise, in general. Anyway, that's where I'm leaving it off. Love the game. I'm gonna make more videos on it because I'm still playing it, even though I've pretty much 100%ed it. All right, peace out. See you in the flip-flops. Bye.